And what's been the most challenging thing for you in this whole transformation journey?
Admitting the truths about myself that I didn't want to. I think that's
Mm.
always when we get to the root of it. It's like, what part of ourselves would we rather point the finger at others or not look at or not dive into? And there's a multitude of ways that this manifests, but that's always
Mm.
the most tense. That always has the most,
Mm.
um, we'll call it not catalyzed energy. That's not the wrong word. It's the most callous
Mm.
wounds in our nervous system and our
Mm.
psyche
Mm.
we prefer not to look at, but ultimately
Mm.
that's what defines our perception, our behaviors, our
Mm. Mm.
disposition. We are. And if we're not willing to take a look at that and do the deep work around those tense parts, then we're never going to be fully liberated to be who we really are, beyond the pain,
Mm.
beyond the conditioning. And so that's manifested in a multitude of different ways, but looking at those parts was challenging, but ultimately very liberating. And I think,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm. And what triggered you to actually sort of look in the mirror and say, these things need to be addressed?
It wasn't one thing, right? Because it's been sort of an unfolding process for
Mm.
7, 8 years or so, probably upwards of 10, because I
Oh.
recovered from pretty serious mental and physical health challenges
Mm.
in my 20s and moved to Asia,
Mm.
and the journey continued. But once you start down the path of deep personal growth, down the path of Zen, yoga, deeper psychology, shadow
Mm.
work, etc., we could go on about that all day. You're kind of
Mm.
compelled, like it's like the Matrix, right? Once you unplug, you can't plug back in.
Mm.
Just
Okay.
isn't, you can either ignore it and steam through it, or you can take a look. And when it's right here on the surface of your awareness, you kind of have to take a look. And that
Yeah.
opens up more rabbit holes. And then over time, you just learn and develop the tools to break through those things more consistently with more compassion, more forgiveness, and more openness.
Mm.
So it wasn't just one thing. I've had many really challenging moments in the past 5, 6 years, but um, it wasn't any one of them, right?
Okay.
I think probably the rock bottom was, 6, 7 years ago when I was really, really ill and
Mm.
things like this. But that was just the catalyst, right? It's just been unrolling ever since.
Because they were the challenges, or you could say the obstacles that you've been facing,
Mm.
and as each one of them presented itself to you, um, you know, looking back today over that period of time, which might be 7, 8, or even 10 years, um, what have you learnt from that journey and those challenges?
Oh, wow. Yeah, great question. Uh, that it's okay to be who we are. And when I say be who we are, be who we really are. That expression of ourselves that exists before and beneath the pain, beneath the conditioning, beneath the expectations that were imposed on us, beneath the fear, the methods of survival that we had to use to adapt to the conditions and the environment around us. It's like when we are at our best selves, who are
Mm.
we being and what are we doing? And that's
Mm.
perfectly okay. And there's millions of different ways that we've been conditioned not to be ourselves. And at the end of the day, it's okay. I think that's
Okay,
that's
that's
still point, right? If you can boil it down, just not being okay with who I really am.